Coming up on Rick Dancer TV, it's Oregon and it's summer, and that means we're going to go on some adventures. We're going to take you cycling, we're going to take you swimming, we're going to take you to some hike places that we've been. We want to show you Oregon in a different way. Plus, we're going to introduce you to a cattle rancher, tell you about a big party in Creswell, and also a huge party at Lockmead Dairy. That's all coming up next on Rick Dancer TV. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. So we're at Crater Lake and we're stopping here at this little parking lot. We are ready to go. You get to ride with us. Whoa, so awesome. Oh my gosh. You come around that corner, that's like heaven. Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at that. Got that coming down that whole hill. That's cool. That. Oh my gosh. We got meadow right there. You know how sometimes you don't know what you want to eat, but you know you don't want to cook at home, and you don't want to sit in a restaurant either and have dinner, but you want them to cook it for you? That's where hungryducks.com comes in handy. Darren is a great guy. This is 100% locally owned. They have supreme technology that the newest thing you can do now is you can actually track your order online after you ordered it. The average delivery time is only 32 minutes. They have access to 40 different restaurants right now with tons of different cuisine. It's hungryduck.com. All you got to do is go to their website and you can order from any of these restaurants in town and they'll deliver it to you. Also, if you go to the website, they have deals on there, coupons and deals that you can only find on the website. So don't forget, it's Darren at hungryducks.com.
Slight contraction, roll up, and then control on the way down. Very good control.
So we just opened this in May. We have a lot of PT patients who go to the gym, they get injured, they come to us, we help them, they go back to the gym, they re-injure themselves. We are using this as a nice transition. We incorporate it into our PT treatment.
It helps me with my posture and it helps me with my body, and when I'm doing other things I do it more correctly than I would have.
Lay down into those abs and come back down.
People get hurt much less this way because they're doing things correctly, because they're being instructed very specifically how to do things correctly, engaging their core, using the best possible form they can with every movement. When people don't know how to use the machines correctly, even if they think they do, they're often using compensation patterns.
I was always really strong and able to muscle through everything. What I didn't know is that I was doing a lot of things with poor form.
Mid-back, very nice.
I didn't know that I was injuring myself, and I was, and I did, and I've been in PT for a while now.
So give me good posture.
Our sessions with the trainers are 60 minutes. 60 minutes is plenty of time to get a very substantial workout.
Between the trainers and the equipment that we have, it doesn't allow me to muscle through things anymore.
People come in and rehab from an injury and they go back to the gym and they don't know how to do things properly.
Weight training builds muscle. You also burn fat, lose weight, can help balance hormones.
It's not just about being a high-level athlete. It's just about being a functional person from young age to middle age to older age.
It improves your cardiovascular capacity and it improves your overall energy and your health.
Being able to hike and being able to enjoy the kind of activities that you want to do throughout your life.
Besides all of these awesome weights, we have Coraline equipment, and between the weight training and using those other pieces of equipment, it changes lives. We are on the corner of East 11th and Ferry in the same building as the Oregon Community Credit Union. We have 5,500 square feet.
This we utilize for some of our physical therapy clients, but it's also for people who aren't clients of ours and currently and aren't going through physical therapy. Anybody in the public can come in here and work with one of our personal trainers.
So it's just one more way for us to help you to get back to living the life you love.
Good job. Thanks.
So we've got to get our name out. We've got to get people knowing who. We need a promo. I think we need to come up with a concept.
Ooh, let's work it out. Let's get some ideas down.
Okay, so what do you think?
Well, we're local.
Everything local. Local, like local everything.
Okay, okay.
I live here.
I live here.
Okay, there's local. I own Rick Dancer TV. Locally owned.
There it is.
Oh my God.
It's working.
So I'll teach you how to do the head bobs.
Ooh, they're dramatic turns.
Yeah, I can show you all that stuff. I'm an expert at it.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? We should do first, fair, and accurate.
I've heard that before. That's too far. That's too much.
You heard that?
I think somebody uses that.
How about funny, fabulous, and freaky?
I like it.
You and your family are invited to a two-day party on the farm. Lockmead Dairy and Dairy Mart are celebrating 50 years of bringing you the freshest products in Western Oregon, and the Gibson family wants to show you a great time. Friday, July 31st and Saturday, August 1st from 10 to 4, we're inviting you to the farm. Our good friends at Thistledown off River Road are hosting our party nice and close to town. Games for the kids, stuff like gunny sack races and face painting, and sample our fresh products, even our ice cream. Even Coconut Bliss will be there. It's a weekend of fun you don't want to miss. Go to our Facebook page, Lockmead Family Farms, for more information.
Congratulations, Melissa and Seth at Creswell Coffee. You've been there for 5 years now, and my gosh, they're having a big party again this year. They block off the parking lot, bring in 2 stages, 4 different bands. This is July 18th from 2 to 9-ish or so. The bands are going to be the Fret Boys, Richie G and Ma Beat, Surf Rock, and Hank Shreves. They're going to have their bratwurst and homemade sauerkraut. Oh my gosh. They're also going to have 25 craft booth setups, and at those craft booths they're going to also have all kinds of stuff that you can buy, and there's going to be door prizes throughout the day. They'll have a bar, they'll have their food, they'll have, of course, Creswell coffee, and a ton of people out there. This is something you really don't want to miss. Strawberry shortcake, watermelon. This is old-fashioned summer fun. Now, a few years ago, when they were just getting started, we did a story on Creswell coffee. Take a look.
When marimba rhythms start to play, dance with me, make me sway.
It was something we wanted to do for a long time.
Other dancers may be on the floor.
I mean, we were, for 6 years, trying to make plans in our life to own a coffee house. We were moving back to Oregon to be closer to family, and Creswell Coffee was for sale. The price was right.
We really want it to be a good place for the local community to come hang out and just be very comfortable for people, kind of like almost as a living room atmosphere kind of place. We're really, really into the live music.
It's a music venue. It is a coffee house. It's a cafe, a bistro.
Well, and it's
a community center.
The musicians, even like local musicians, have really come to know this place as a place they want to play.
Yeah.
And they really, I mean, they come out of everywhere and ask if they can come play here because they've heard such good things about it.
Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you.
Haley always brings a crowd.
Sweet dreams, there ain't no worries behind you.
To have a place where we can provide such a spectrum of music, I mean, everything from a full-out 5-person rock band to a solo classical guitarist and everything in between. It's just neat. I love Friday and Saturday nights. They're a blast. We have an employee affectionately known as the CCC Soup Lady on Twitter. We have about 40, maybe 45 soups that we kind of cycle through. Every Tuesday, her and I sit down together and come up with a menu for the week. We go get the fresh produce that we need. Some of it's out of our garden, some of it's from the local farmers market, and start making soups. And as much as I say that we're a coffee house, I would say the bulk of my business is selling food. I mean, on a busy day like a Tuesday, I mean, we can go through 3 crocks of soup in an afternoon.
And it's not just soups, it's all the salads and paninis
that's true,
and all
yeah.
that too.
Homemade paninis, homemade salads. We probably have about 25 salad recipes as well to add to that. The homemade soups, the homemade salads, the atmosphere, comfortable seating, great music, all those come into place to allow people to enjoy themselves here. What people realize once they've been here, we're really not that far from Eugene. I mean, 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. It's kind of become like a little escape for some people.
This next story is about a woman who is a cattle rancher. And I met her 22 years ago when she was 67 years old and she was still on a horse out there roping cattle every day. Well, guess what? She still does that. I called her the other day and she's 89 years old. She's not riding horses anymore. She's on a quad. But she's still out there rounding up the cattle every season. So take a look at this little ranch. It's out in Junction City, sits up on top of a hill in a log home up there. You've probably driven by it and looked up and said, wow, I wonder who that is. Well, now you're going to find out.
Hi, this is the Lopes. Sorry we missed you, but the sheep's in the meadow and the cow's in the corn. With a little luck, we'll be right back, so please leave your name and number. Thank you.
It's roundup time at the Glory Hill Ranch.
But we've had a good grass year. Our steers look big and fat. We'll see what they weigh.
Ranching is something Gloria Lopes has done most of her 67 years on this earth.
Look at my cute grandkids. There's Wade, got Wyatt, I've got my son. It's a family thing.
There's no hired help here, so it takes family and a few friends to round up the Lopes cattle.
I was raised where you did things yourself, you know, and the best help you can get is at the end of your arm, you know. So Johnny and I managed to do everything ourselves, and that's what makes it nice.
Raising cattle is not as easy as it used to be. Gloria has to take out a loan to pay for all of these animals. And when she sells them, they're not sold by the head, they're sold by the pound. So if several of the animals come in 50 pounds light, that can make a big difference in her profit margin.
Now I'm going to get the results today. And then if the results look rewarding, then you turn right around. In fact, I've already started again, buying more cattle, and you continue year after year. Part of not growing old is having something to do, never worrying about what you have to do, it's what you didn't get done. So you're just constantly changing, moving, going on.
Gloria Lopes might not fit some people's image of the average cattle rancher, but this woman says she's salt of the earth. She knows what she's doing, and she loves it.
It's like you get a new beginning every year. I think that's probably what makes people want to be in the business with livestock or farming.
I went from having a job, a home, and a family to being literally an indigent drunk on the streets.
And so they go through this cycle over and over and over of they go to the emergency room, they have whatever that immediate need is taken care of, or they're incarcerated, but the root problem is never addressed, and so the cycle just keeps happening. So this saves a lot of money for our community.
I felt very much ashamed of just my whole being. Most people who were giving me care, when I'm asking them questions, I'm talking to the top of the head. And they treated me like I had value and worth. And quite frankly, they kept treating me that way until I actually kind of started believing it myself, like, wow, maybe it's okay for me to be here.
And our goal is to make them feel that they are the most important person in the world at that moment in time, and that we are here to serve them. We are here to help them affect those deep core changes where they can go out there and feel like they are a part of society again.
Hope is the big thing. I know it says health, wellness, and recovery, but if I could rewrite it, it would be hope, health, wellness, and recovery.
So Emma, this is a perfect segue, but have you ever tried Doug's Nuts?
What?
Doug's Nuts. Have you heard of Doug's Nuts?
Inappropriate?
They come in a sack. This little bag right here.
Whoa, so many things.
Doug is a guy in town, Doug Furlong, and he created Doug's Nuts.
Okay.
And these are something you can use after you work out. They've got a little teeny bit of sweetener on them, but they have all kinds of different nuts. It's all natural, and the guy's got a sense of humor because he calls them Doug's Nuts.
Yeah.
He's the boss nut.
Maybe you should have opened with the explanation.
I found them when I was in Creswell one time at the Creswell coffee shop. They had these for the first time that I'd seen them. I called him up and said, Doug, we got to do a story on your nuts. And he started laughing. He said, you know, Rick, if you're willing to call up and say that, let's do it.
Nice.
So you can find them at different places, Market of Choice, Creswell Coffee Shop, places like that. You can find Doug's Nuts everywhere.
I think you're scaring the intern.
The toughest moment of the day is the one right before your body hits the cold water. You didn't have to get up. No one needs to spend an hour swimming laps in a pool at this time of day. The water is like mud as you move it, you pull it, you push it. propelling yourself through it. And when you're finished, your body exhausted, there's only one way to give back what you gave. Lockmead reduced fat or non-fat chocolate milk. Recovery. It doesn't get any better than this. That was really fun.
I didn't watch one.
Alright, so we made it to the summit. We're at the top. Me and all these other people. And they're cruising by. Here they go. See? They're gone. And they'll be down back in town in 3 minutes.
I want to talk to you about something that's a little concerning to me. I'm seeing this a growing trend online for a lot of closed-mindedness. It's kind of shocking to me because people who claim to be open-minded are actually talking to people that disagree with them and saying, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Now, how is that open-mindedness? How is that being progressive and open to other people's ideas? You don't have to agree with me or them, or I don't have to agree with you, but if you stop the conversation, don't you end something really important with that? And it's becoming acceptable to shut people out if they don't agree with what's culturally acceptable. So what happens to diversity when you do that? What happens to open-mindedness? What happens to conversation? What happens to compromise? What, it's your way or my way or the highway? I mean, come on. All that's telling me is that you think you're right and everybody else is wrong. Well, you can't do that. Well, I guess you can, but how is that going to help us culturally? How is that going to help us to understand better what it is that you think if you won't even let me in the conversation? I don't know. I think it's nuts, and I think it's crazy, and I think that people that are doing that ought to really sit back and think about it for a second, because you're not being open-minded if you won't listen to people you disagree with. That's just the way it is.
near Bonneville Dam is this really cool trail called the Hamilton Mountain Trailhead. It's high. We went on a trail run and we ended up hiking a portion of it because this mountain is just huge. You get on the top and you look out and there's the gorge. You see all the way down towards Portland and the other direction towards the Bonneville Dam. Now then Kathy and I got a little crazy, did a little acrobatics, and then we found this really cool canyon at exit number 35 off of I-84 is the Oneonta Trail. Now this is a valley. It's a little, not very long, maybe 0.6 miles I think is what they say it is. But the tough part is this log jam you have to maneuver around before you get to the riverbed, which is on the other side. And because it is Portland, there's a ton of people there. So we maneuvered ourselves over these logs and everybody kind of finds their own little trail. You come to the other side and then there's the river. And you're not out of the woods yet. Now you got to wade through this water, and depending on the time of year, it's waist high to chest high, and of course your height. So we just took the GoPro and kind of made our way down through that water, and yeah, it's a little bit cold, as you can see on our face. Then you come to a little river bar, and there's a ton of people there, and there's this huge waterfall, and underneath it is this big pool of water, and people climb up on the rocks up there and they dive in. We didn't do that, but we set the GoPro up on the rock wall and decided we'd take a little dip. It was like 95 out, and the water's cold, but man, it is well worth going. And then at the end of the day, you celebrate your birthday. So check out the gorge, lots to do.